Yeah, let me explain a few things. Um, Now let's go back to that. So let's start from basics. All right. So let's say if I jab, I'm +2, right? Like so. In this case, if my opponent jabbed me, right? Like if I hold, like I can just 2G and fuzzy it. Like if I can, you kind of just read the jab and then fuzzy. See? Like you can hold throw escape too, and then just fuzzy too. So you at least protect yourself if you mess up. So like every time you hold guard, just hold punch. So when you see a jab, you're -2, so you're fuzzying. You know, you want to fuzzy so that you can. Well, what happens if they start doing like this, for example? You know, which is the 14 frame mid. Right? You'll be able to protect yourself too. So you're reacting to the throw and then blocking the mid. That's just basic fuzzy. You know, that's why you do it. That's why you always see me going like this. Like I'm not teabagging, I'm just fuzzying. Like you have to. If you get hit, like if I got hit, I'm -5. So you wanna fuzzy so that you can avoid you'll be able to avoid both options. So if I got jabbed, you wanna crouch, fuzzy right here. See, you can't just 2G fuzzy because if you 2G fuzzy, you'll get hit. You'll get hit by the throw. It takes a little bit of practice, but you can pretty much practice that. Now, try to do all of this in 20 in a row, you know, and you can kind of like just practice it, you know. Now, why is this useful? Because what happens if they do something like this? What if they do something like this? Now you can play that too. Watch. See? Now I'm +5. That's why fuzzy is strong. You know, fuzzy guard is strong because you can just neutralize 3 different options, especially if they're low jabbing right there. Okay. So that's 3 different options. One way to shut 3 options down right there. Now there's other scenarios too. Like let's say so how do you beat someone's fuzzy? Very simple. Low. So if someone's fuzzying, right? So if someone's gonna be like this right here, you can guard break, you can delay your throw, you can low throw, because it's a crouching state. Fuzzy guard is a crouching state. So you can hard read it and just go for a low throw, or you can hard read and go for a quick low. Okay, so let me go to Aoi for example. So like in a situation where like I'll do this, right? And if you read it, you can just go for a low throw. Or if you read it, just go for a low kick. Now, when you go for a low kick, you're negative too. So lows are negative on hit. So if you try to, if you evade, yeah, that's what. Yep. If you over fuzzy, Jeffrey will low throw you if you're not careful. Now you can always play elbow too. Now if they overcommit to fuzzy, right? Like let's say they overcommit to fuzzy, you can just wait a little bit. You can wait a little bit, right? And then just throw them. You can just delay. Like you can just like waste an input you can just like tap forward, for example. Tap forward, tap back, and then just do a throw. See? So that's how you delay throw. Now, if you do that, you're giving up your advantage. That means you're putting yourself back at you're putting yourself back at 0, neutral. Every time you delay. Now, if they start, if they're beating your fuzzy due to the delay, you start mashing. Yep. So like in this case, like if I know that they're gonna take turns where, I can just low jab or something, like. But there's other options too. Like let's say they do this, right, and they're holding guard throw escape. Right? You can always you can OM now. You can OM to their side. So like if I block this, now you can work their side. Now you're +4. Okay? Now if they OM is to encourage them. When your opponent sees too many OMs right there, that's gonna eventually they're gonna look at it and they're gonna be like, okay, if you OM too much, OM has no evasive property. OM is simply to get to their side and get more plus. So like something like this is +5, but watch what happens if it's on the side. It's gonna be like it's much more frame advantage. Watch, I'll show you. So let's say normal hit, my bad. Normal hit right here. Normal hit. So if I did an OM, right, I'm +7 on normal hit. Now if I did this, I'm +5. Notice the difference? Now, some strings work better from the side than they do from, let's say, from normal stance. But you can see where there's so much layers to it. Like I said, if my opponent was like, okay, they're just attacking, then just attack that OM. Like if they're gonna hard read that, you just attack. Is that why some people OM on people's wake up? The other thing about OMing on wake up is to reposition. So let's say CPU's back, right? And let me see. I'm gonna try to. Let me do it this way. Think of a good option. So like, let's say I did a throw, right? And I'm like, okay, I wanna like reposition myself. It's ideal to reposition if let's say, your back is against the wall, your back's to the edge of the ring, you knock them down, you reposition. You knock them down, reposition. You don't want to always reposition, but in a situation like that, you can reset. Then why not? Just reset or put yourself in a much more favorable ring position. Now, as you can see, there's 3 ways you could deal with a rising kick too. So, like if I block this, I can just get +6. That's the most basic, right? So, but if you know a move that does like say up to 22 and up for base damage, if you're doing a base move 22 and up, you can crush that. So, like say this 25. So if I time this, you can actually hit them. So let me see if I get this. That's why I have smaller active frames. Oh, too early. Too early. Maybe that's not the move. Let's try this one. No. Nope. Nope. Let's go to lay. go to late. I'll show you. I'll show you what I'm talking about with dealing with rising kicks. I always like weaker in that department. You know why she's weaker? Because she has the parry. The parry's much better. So let's say if I knock him down, right? If you time your mid or you time like pretty much any attack that does base 20, base 21, you can crush this. So okay. So that's the second way. So I showed you block, so you get +6. I showed you crush, right? And the last option, you can dash in, and then you can try to whiff punish. So you can whiff punish. So if you see that they're gonna if you see that they're gonna do a rising kick every single time, you can blow it up. Probably the hardest one is the crush one. But here's a trick. There's certain moves, like this move right here, has 8 active frames. So that move allows you to crush a rising kick pretty instantly. So if I like this right here is also 8. So moves that start off slow and have high active frames, that does a lot of damage, are also very useful. Alright. So another thing too, I see a lot of players back roll. Now back roll mid kick is good, and low is also good, but there's a drawback to it. I know. There's a risk factor involved with it. You're -15 if you get guarded. All right. Now, if you back roll, you block that. You can also it also makes it easier to crush it too. So I can just full charge this, and just and just pretty much just do that. Oh. So you can play around with it. So you can still, there's still like backdashing and jumping. Backdashing and jumping back is useful when you want to bait, but if they're back rolling, then guess what? They just created space for you, and you got more options to play around with. So be wary how you approach it. You don't want to just throw out a rising kick. If you know it's gonna get blocked, at least know what the situation is. You don't want to you can just press up GGG, down GGG. It's fine. When you're getting up. And there's delay property too, so you can go you can do a roll and then kind of just do your wake up kick a little bit slower. So. Alright, now back to fuzzy guard. The times that you want to do fuzzy guard is your -1, -2, or -3, where you can just 2G. You just do this. Okay, and you're gonna hold a throw escape too. So as soon as you hold guard, you hold punch, you're doing a throw escape. Just to do fuzzy guard with throw escape. But if you need a hold, if you wanna break forward or back, you gotta hold guard, then hold punch, and then hold forward. Or if you're gonna try to break back throw, hold guard, hold punch, and then hold back. And that's it. You just have to make it. You just have to don't react to it. You just guess. Just commit to a guess. Now, if you know that they're gonna throw you, right? Let's say I always do. How would I drill side turn throws? Very simple, Talu. I'll show that too. Now, if you know that they're gonna throw you, just like that. Like say right now, if I'm -6, I can't just duck. I can't fuzzy guard when I'm -6. You know. Now, if you know they're gonna throw you, then just go for a launcher. Blow it up. Blow up the because throws cannot beat an attack. That's part of the rock paper scissors element there. Now the thing is that if they evade it, then guess what? If they evade it, then you know you do a launcher right there. You'll be exposed to the side. All right. So in order to practice side throw escapes, there's a tutorial as well, but I can show you how to set this up. You can record, right? Do an OM. You're gonna do 2 OMs. You're gonna do 1 OM going this way, right? And then do a jab. And then just throw. Okay? Wow. Oh, let me set this up in the center of the screen. So like I'll do an OM up and then do jab like that, okay? And then just go for a throw. And I'll do another one. And then let me see if I can get rid of this one. Let me just record this too. That way. Now, so I'll play this randomly. Notice how he's facing, like right now you can see his stomach, now you see his back. So in this case, if you see your stomach, you want to hold back. Now if you see your back, you hold your front. You hold okay? It just takes a little bit of repetition to fix because you're gonna be facing one or the other, okay? So break the side. Yep, the guy is coming from. Yep. No. So like right there, you see it? Like if you see Lei Fei facing this way, where you see his belt and his stomach, you know, you see how his elbow, like right here, like you see this part right here where his hand is, the lower hand part, you know. Now if I see this, you see his back. Now if I'm facing this way, you hold forward. Now if you see this, now you hold back. Okay. That's basically what it is. It'll take some repetition. Now you'll be able to break it. You'll be able to break it much easier, as you'll see situations like you'll see something like this. You have more time to look at it. You're like, oh, okay. Yes. Like as you're getting hit, you'll be able to like throw break as you're holding guard. It's like you'll know which direction you're breaking. Cause like use that guard stun to look at where you're facing, you know. And then that's like, okay, I know which way to break it, you know. You can also, you know, still launch. You can still launch them up. What up, Zeno? Good games the other day. So you can still blow it up. So, but be careful though. Side turn is very strong. You just have to drill it. Like Lei Fei's stomach. Now you see Lei Fei's back. Remember, when I'm talking about lay phase back and front, I'm talking about my lay phase, not the CPU lay phase. Okay, okay, Talo. I'm talking about where I'm facing, not what the other, not the CPU lay phase. So you're looking at your position, like. It just takes a little bit of preparation. Yeah, just look at your character. Yep. So, like if I show you like this again. Yeah, if they're on your right side or break left, they're on your left side. Now, like I said, a lot of players, they'll practice. They'll practice side throw skates by setting up a little orb on their foot. So like let's say I can put it on my wrist, or I can put it on, like I put an orb on my wrist, right? And then you'll be able to practice it. Like not generally practice, but you know you can use the orb as a way to help you break side throws, like as you're learning. So I show you because you're only wearing it on one wrist. A lot of players do this while they're learning it. So as you can see, you see my wrist is like, okay, right there. If I'm on this way, it's my front. Like if you see my hand sticking out like that, you know that's front. If it's this way, it's back, I believe. So let me double check. Yeah. So you can kind of see. You can kind of see where the bracelet is at, and then you can visually see, okay, which way do I want to break it. All right. I'm gonna get you. Nah, you did good. You did good, Zeno. Came out of nowhere, just like jump in and like, yeah, I'm gonna beat numbers up. Like who's this noob? But like, wait, Moon. Moon sounds familiar. And then all you know is like, wait, I think I know this person. He's using Owie. He parried. Yo, you're the only one I know that does this. Zeno. You're the only one I know that parries that shit. You either parry it or you evade it. Besides the Japanese players. Like, you're not giving me that +9. That's like the biggest tell. That was the biggest tell. When I saw that, I'm like, this guy played me before. And the name was like Moon. It's like Harley. Harley, it's gotta be Harley. And then it's like, oh, you know, you switch characters. I'm like, oh, are we? And then Vanessa. I know you use Vanessa. So it's like. Any other questions? Any other questions? That there's a lot. Oh yeah, to hit check, right? If you want to hit check, you can set it to. You can set it right here. Guard or normal hit, or guard or counter hit. Yeah, that's Zeno right there. Wash up Zeno. That's Harley. Washed up Zeno is Harley. So, yeah, guard or normal hit. He go by Moon. He's gonna change it. Watch. Harley's gonna change it. What are some intermediate techniques? Now, you can pretty much just go with Fuzzy Guard. Fuzzy Guard, evade, crouch dash, evade, dash, cancel. Like, as long as you know those options, you learn most of the system already, Talo. Like, if you know how to do Fuzzy, you know how to do evade, and then you know how to evade throw escape. Like, his evade throw escape in a nutshell. I'm gonna set CPU to guard and counterattack with a throw and a mid, or a mid, right? And I'm gonna have them set to neutral, for example. Okay, for throw. Now let's say what's gonna happen is I'm gonna do a mid move, like say like this, right? And let's say I want to deal with both that mid and a throw. So instead of holding guard after the kick right here, I can just press up, and then as I'm tapping up, right? Whether it works or not, I'm holding guard and then holding punch. So I'm kind of like, so I'm holding guard, and I'm holding punch, like that. During the animation. All right. So watch, I'll show you. So even if so if I guess wrong, then I'll get a fail evade in there. But you'll at least be able to protect yourself from both options. But if they delay, you will get hit. If they did like they didn't attack right away, you will get hit. So it just takes a little bit of practice. You can also do it where, let's say box stepping. With box stepping, you know, there's a forward, up, backdash, down, forward, and you're kind of just repeating it. Now, if you backdash, you can't just cancel with a guard. You can't cancel with a guard. Now, but with a forward dash, you can cancel it. So you can look like you're stutter stepping. That's how this how a forward dash looks like. See? So you can practice that, or like same thing with fuzzy guarding. But here's where it really shines. If you break into two different parts, right? Crouch dash, you can't just press guard to cancel that animation. Crouch backdash and crouching backdash is risky as well, because if they side kick you, you will get stunned for it. But you can cancel crouch backdash. You can cancel it with an attack. Okay. So like you don't have to see that whole animation, just attack. So it's the same thing with a jab. The same thing with a backdash. Okay. Now that's still risky, because if you do that and they do this, you'll get blown up for it. So to compensate for that, this is the other part of the box stepping, which is this. You do the full backdash. You can cancel the backdash with an evade or with a jump. Okay. So just remember that when you're using movement, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this. You can backdash, but like I said, backdash works if you're trying to avoid elbow and low jab, but you'll get blown up by sidekick if you do that. So use it when don't overuse it. Like if they backdash, this is what's gonna happen. Like you can practice backdashing. Well, have to set the CPU to backdash, right? If they did a side kick like this, you'll get blown up for it. Just for one mistake. But remember, use it sparingly. Use it when you need to use it, but not all the time. But if you're gonna backdash, make sure you at least backdash evade. Backdash evade. Back and down. Or back and up. To at least compensate in case something happens. Movement is also important, because you can hold back. This is all range movement. So you hold forward, you hold down, down forward. Hold down. You tap down and hold down. You'll be able to move this way. This really does nothing. The only thing that's useful in this situation, if you want to delay, like here's a good example. I'm gonna record something. So like, let's say they like to do this, right? They'll do this and they'll do evade. And then they'll do that after. So if I attack right away, see, I'll get blown up for it. For using my +6. Now you can use ARM, all range movement. You see how I did a little stutter step? Like I can just like tap down back a little bit and cause a fail evade and then attack. Okay. Now if I attack right away, you know, I'm gonna get blown up for it. But you can always attack this way with a full circular. Full circular will always beat evade, or you know, or throw. Because remember that evade and guarding is considered a rock. Throwing is paper. So. All right. Now, of course, if they're constantly throwing you, then just blow it up. Just, like, you know. Oh, I read that. I had to read that you might evade right here, and I guessed wrong right here. See. Plain and simple. Now, if they attack right away, then guess what? I can steal it. It's my turn. So, it's like I can go for my launcher. You can backdash if you want. Remember, you had the advantage, but you always want to use your advantage too. But you can always play around a little bit. All right. I think that's really all you need to know. It's like in terms of movement, fuzzy guarding at attack, scissors, beat, evade, or block, or is it rock? No, throw will beat guard at evade. Attack will beat paper, which is rock. No, attack will beat paper, which is scissors. Wait, did I read that? No. So yeah, scissors is attacking. Paper is throw. Rock is guard or evade. The only time, from a fundamental perspective. But there's a little bit of, there's like ways around it. Like you can still have, you can still have attack beat scissors. No, you can still have attack beat evade. You know, by using a sweep or a full circular. You know, that you can still have paper beat rock. No, you still have paper beat scissors by using a catch throw. I think once you understand it, like when you know the system and you play it, and you know the repetitions, like you'll see this over and over again, and you're gonna be like, oh, your opponent is always fuzzying right there, or you just hard read it and just blow it up. You know, you're gonna find patterns. You always like there's another thing people we don't talk about it much, but well, it's also important. It's buffering. Buffering is like something like this. Like, you know how like you gotta move that you need to do crouch? Like, you know, hold down, and then hold, and then down forward. Like that, for example. You don't have to hold down. You can just buffer like this. So, whenever you're holding down and you do a directional, you know, if you release the guard button, you can pretty much do like your next move. So, if I did, you're gonna see me do, for example, this right here, but you're not gonna see the crouch. You're not gonna see the you're not gonna see the crouching animation like this. So you can go, see it? So it's like during the hit stun or during the block stun, you can buffer your next move, the directional I mean. So you can buffer crouch dash and then do that move. Alright. So in case you need to like play frame tight and stuff. Any other questions? It's no when you think about just you think levelers has an advantage in this game. It's really hard to say. I think it's still the same. I think it's still the same. I mean, I seen pad players destroy. I seen pad players destroy like arcade stick players and everything. So, you know, I don't think it really has much of an advantage. I can't really speak for it, but because I don't use levelers. But I mean, that's just my personal opinion. You can use whatever controller that you prefer. And you know, it really just comes down to, you know, your overall you know, how well you play. You know, if you make a mistake, then you know it's always your fault. You know, if I did a move right here and they evaded, you know, they read my read, and you know they're gonna blow me up for it. What else? What else is there, guys? Is there anything else I can show? Anything else? Remember, low punch. Low punch is a. Oh wait, this is a thing. Okay, here's another thing. You've probably seen this, and you're probably wondering, like, what's the difference? All right, I'll show you something too. Here's something I want to show you guys. Now, well, what's this? You don't see that? You see that EX high, right? You see that EX high? What that means is that if your opponent tried to low jab, like right here, you think of a special high as a mid, but it's not a mid. It's just know that if you try to low jab during a special high, your opponent is going to get clipped by that move. Okay? So here's a good example. I'm going to set the CPU to low guard and low punch. Right? Now if I did that move right here, they can see how it's a high. So if it's a high, usually loses to a low. See? You know what I mean? But if you do a special high, you can hit them out of it. All right. Remember that's what a special high is. Special mid. I don't think Lei has a special mid anymore. I'm trying to remember. I know they took it out. Now, with a special low, the most basic special low is low jab. What that means is that you can high jab. You can guard it low. So even if you don't have to hold guard and duck. Guard and duck is only for this, like low kick and stuff. But if they low punch you, you can just stand there and guard. That's what a special low does. It allows you to guard it while standing. Now, with a special mid, for example, a special mid allows you to block the mid while crouching. So let me show you, for example. I'm gonna set CPU. See how that EX middle? So if you block the elbow, you can block it. You can block it while crouching. And you'll still be +8. Okay. All right. That's what an EX mid does. Allow you to crouch while you're blocking low. See? You can see at the later end of it, I'm holding guard, down guard. So that's one of those situations. Like when you're fighting, for example, let's say you're fighting Shun. It's really, you know, that's a good question. That is a really good question. If it can't hit people crouching, exactly. It's one of the weirdest. It's one of the weirdest mids. It's one of those weird mids that you just like, okay, and you'll be +8 in most cases. Now, if you're Lao, Lao has an EX mid too. Lao EX mid is actually good. Lao's EX mid is actually good because it will force your opponent to stand. So like if they're crouching, right? He has this mid right there, but it goes into a string, see? See? So you get like, so if they over crouch, like if they over crouch, then you can it's almost like a miniature guard break in a way. But like Lao has those. It's like he can't block that. So it at least force stand your opponent. Alright. Yep. It force stand break your guard subtly, yeah. It's not like a true guard break, but it's enough to kind of like, you know, in Lao's case, you know, you'll get your strings going. See? You know, they won't be able to block that. So that's pretty much an explanation of special high, oh yeah, EX high, EX low, and EX mid. Okay. Like see right here, that's an EX high, so they you know, if I try to low jab that, you know, I'll get clipped. So that EX mid, no EX low, so you can block that high. That is a good question. That is a good question. Because I like the weight system. I do like the weight system. Yeah, it does suck that you need different combos for different weight classes. Yep. Yep, what? Let me know what the Lao question is. Give me a second. Let me brew some coffee real quick, okay? I'll be back. How do you... Okay, yep. P plus K charge can guard break on block, but it does a big mid hit when it's not blocked. Problem is I can't just force XP because if it hit, they crouch too far. Like if you just kind of just commit to it. Like if you know they're gonna guard high, then just prepare for it. That's the best way I can really tell you. Like if they like to just, you know, like attack you, you can just go slow. Just kind of test their reaction. Like, you know, you might show this. Here's a good thing though. You might show this a few times against them, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, let me change it up. You know, and then every time you change it up, just go for it, because you know they might just guard it. But like I said, if you can always. That one, you can kind of say, yeah. It's kind of hard, though. It is hard. It's very hard. Yeah, guard or normal hit. Oh, I see what you mean. Yep. Oh, I see. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. It takes a little bit of practice for that one. Basically, yeah, it's very tough. That's not be easy. Because if they get hit by the full charge, they're in a gut collapse. So yeah, so they'll get hit by a gut collapse there, and then you can't just do back forward punch. Yeah, so that's a little bit tricky to deal with, Talu. That takes repetition and some practice at least, but it's not easy. But you know, there'll be situations where like, okay, sometimes I purposely get hit by that move, just so that they mess up. You know, I did that on Defax a few times when he full charged that. So yeah, so don't feel too bad if you can't react to it fast enough on time. But you know, that takes some practice. Even veterans like myself probably would struggle with. So what else? I know I put my sound on the thing there, so that way you guys can hear me more clearly. Yeah. So you know, every character in the game has a low crush. You know, so if you ever feel like you're getting overwhelmed by low punch spam, you know, and you want to take a risk and blow up that low punch spam when you know they're gonna do it, you can do like a particular low crush. So like let's say, so like Lao is this one, right? He's also got, let's see, I think he got this one too. Let me see. So like I'll do this on low crush. Down back. So like if I like you know, they like to, let's say you do this a lot, right? Right, and then you know that they're gonna low punch you, then you can just go like this. Okay? Or if you know they're gonna low punch you, then you can go like that. Yeah, it's very, very good. Okay? But if you wanna do it from if you're not sure, like you don't wanna attack right away, right? Just fuzzy. Get the +5. Okay? Like hold forward guard if you want. Take the +5 and then you know, just attack them back with an elbow. So, you know, you use that to gauge, like what do they know? Okay, so it's kind of like if I do this enough, you know, sometimes I'll throw this out and be like, okay, I think I know what they like to do right there. They're familiar with it. So let's try to trap them a little bit. You know, so that's kind of like the mindset you want to approach it. You know, like where can I take advantage of situations like that where, you know, they're pressing buttons. They're pressing buttons because they're worried about that high, or they're worried about going, you know, you going to stance. So like here's a good example. Like, you know, you're doing this. You do because you know that the third punch will whiff. You can bait trap them off of this. Now here's another thing too, Talu. You know how like this is minus 15, right? You're punishable, right? Now look what happens when you do it from the side. Minus 9. Now you're safe. Now it's rock, paper, scissors. Okay? So that's something. So something that's like this minus 16 is minus 13. So you can use it to reduce your disadvantage. Okay? So like something that's elbow that's minus 4. Minus 2. Yep. That's another thing too. Like here's another one. Say like let's say, you know, you'll lock them in a guard, right? You can't lock them in a guard like here, right? You can't lock them in a guard like this. But if you OM or if you do a successful evade, you can lock them right here. See, and your plus. Like he can't low guard that from the side. Okay. Now you got a basic frame trap with just double high kick. Yep. You know, it just takes practice. Yeah, KK is good. Oh, here's another thing. You have to know this too. You know how you don't want to just evade recklessly. You want to evade with purpose. And the reason why I say what I say here is like evade with purpose. And then what I mean is evade with the intent to avoid a specific move. Now, as you can see, Lao has Tiger Claw. He's got this move. You notice how this is very important. Now, if I did this move, notice how I'm evading it, but then I do it this way, I'm not evading it. Like that CPU. Now, the reason why, if you notice, look at his foot position, Lao's foot position. Notice how this is my back, and this is my stomach. And if you see it, you know, this is my back right here. So, if I do this move, see? It hits them. So if Lei evades up, it'll hit them. But it depends on the foot position. So notice how, like, right, if I did it like this and he evades up, I'll whiff, see? Okay? That's important. You want to, like, okay, what happens if I do this? I always hit him. Because that's a half circular. That means you have to evade towards allows stomach side. You have to evade this way, always. So if I want to avoid this, I evade to allow stomach. See? But if he evades to my stomach all the time, I can use Tiger Claw. Foot position is very important. You don't want to get too greedy. Just with a little bit of practice. I mean, for everyone to practice. You know, in a situational too. You wanna use it to avoid certain situations like that. You know, like I'm getting sick and tired of hitting. I get sick and tired of getting hit by this. I want to focus on avoiding that. Right. So your opponent might decide, okay, if he likes to avoid my sweep, then I can just go with this. See? Because this is a special high. Or I can just do this. See? The counterplay. Now, if they start evading to my back, you know, I can play with that low sweep. You know, it's like if they like to evade to my back. So, that's something that's useful right there. Like you fight Jackie, for example. You want to avoid his flash kick and stuff. So that you have to evade to his back all the time. But if you evade to his back a lot, his back fist will hit you. If you ever want to practice your wall combos, you can always go to position setting, change the position, switch it to player back to switch it to CPU's back to the edge, and you can practice. You can practice your wall combos. All right, and then set CPU to normal hit or counter hit if you want, or you can practice where they're guarding too, where you can whip punish them. Like say low jab. You know, so. Yep. Or you can, if you want, you can press the reset button, hold 6. Yep. But if you just want to if you don't want to just use that shortcut, you can just do that. Or you want to play defense from the side. Not defense on the side, but defense on your side of the ring. Right? You can do it like that too. Like say for example, like you want to practice this combo right here. Like you want to practice this combo. So you can, then you can just like, you know, practice it. So you like, whenever you're in this situation, you'll be able to practice that. So you build repetition with practice, you know. So yeah, no worries. There's some really good questions too. So hopefully that's will be helpful. Okay. It's better to stream. It's better to stream and talk about situations like this, rather than kind of writing everything down. Because it's better, like, you know, well, not everyone's gonna read everything, and you know, like, it's better to kind of just visually show it. So that makes things a little bit more easier to understand. You know, like why are they doing what they're doing? You know, like you'll see me and a bunch of other players do this constantly. And that's really, like, once you learn all of that, you'll be pretty much all set. Like how to play defense, how to this, you know. If they like to delay, you can steal turns. So That's VF in a nutshell. You know, there's a lot of guessing, speed guessing when you play at higher levels. All right, it's getting late for me. I'm probably gonna go and sleep.